I got about 10 big bundles of mugwort while I was foraging today. I use mugwort for a lot of things, from smoking to spices to its antifungal and antimicrobial properties. Which is why I got to stock up for winter, and there was a bunch over there, and that was only about a third of the patch, which is about the rule of thumb for a forager. I gotta weather a storm and keep these things dry, so I'll probably put them in a tote, but after that I'm gonna hang them up and hopefully have enough for the rest of the winter. That's what the final mostly dry product looks like on the stem, and that's what it looks like off the stem. It still has a little bit more drying to do, so I'll do it in this bag, because once it reaches a point where it's not gonna grow mold, you kinda wanna take the drying process slow. At least from what I've found, it's easier to keep the flavor if you dry it slower, and yes, I know I'm wearing a shirt, it's a little chilly this morning. This plant is very useful and a lot of people want it, that's why I have it on hand for trading all the time. And while some plants do the job better than mugwort, it's an anti-parasitic and antimicrobial, which is really useful in a survival situation. Those effects can be enhanced even more when mixed with other plants in its genus like sweet wormwood or common wormwood. It's also probably most popularly known as a dream herb and a replacement for other herbs, if you catch my drift. And as far as its spiritual uses, mugwort is used to keep negative energy out of a space, kind of like sage, except sage is used to clear the negative energy from that space. That's why it's often mixed in smudge sticks with sage or used in smudge sticks by themselves. And that's also why it's a good idea to have some hanging at your doorway or your windowsill. Mugwort has some really nice culinary uses too, and it can match the flavor of sage really well mixed together or even replace sage in some recipes. Its flavor is a little bit more bitter and earthy than sage, which makes sage a more prized spice, but it can be found pretty much everywhere, which makes it really useful and cheap. Mugwort has also been used in decoctions to make dyes, and trust me, it works. It makes a really soft minty green, exactly like my childhood bedroom, and I love it. And finally, it's commonly used for menstrual cramps and relaxation, but you don't want to take it while you're pregnant because it can give your child birth defects if not giving you a miscarriage. People tend to overlook that part sometimes when telling you about this herb. But that's all I have for today. Let me know if you want a part 2 going into the history and geology of the herb, how it was used by the Native Americans and traditional Chinese cultures. And like and subscribe for more herbalist content.